Okay, so this is my setup for my system. I gotta change the LED here, it's blue, so that's why that's missing. But basically, don't mind the mess, I gotta still vacuum and blow it out. But basically, have everything running cleanly. Just gotta take that off still. Just to mount my line out converter. Got everything nicely mounted and done. As you can see, properly and nicely. Got my power. Basically, what I done here, ran the power on the driver's side, speakers on the speaker wire on the passenger side. It's pretty straightforward. There's videos out there that you can watch to disassemble the grommets and the plastic pieces, etc. Basically, it's pretty straightforward. I wanted to keep my stock head unit, as you can see there, so that's why I got the line out converter. I do recommend spending the money on a one from 50 to 100 bucks. Don't buy no cheap ones. You're gonna end up getting pure feedback and and you're gonna get this popping noise every time you shut off your system. So I recommend forfeiting up 100 bucks at minimum, 50 to 100 bucks, let's say, for a good line out converter. I got this one on sale for $79.99. Regular price, I think it was like $109 or something like that. But yeah, it's a 4-channel line out converter. This is all the speaker wire from the head unit, and then all the speaker wire from the actual speakers are ran right here. It's pretty straightforward. And then my RCA, as you can see here. Oops, sorry about the camera. It's on my phone, sorry. Yeah, so I ran the RCAs. They're all connected at the front here, as you can see. And then I have a sub out which connects here. But yeah, my next step is I'm gonna get Teflon tubing and put it over these things here and here. I'll probably do the same here and clean it up a little bit better. But yeah, basically this is the whole setup. Sorry about the camera flipping around, just in my car, and wanted to do a quick video showing how everything I ran and set up. I went to, I live in Canada, so I went to Canadian Tire and just got some fabric, automotive fabric, and just covered everything so that way you don't see the wood. I do recommend measuring at least 5-6 times before cutting. You don't want to be like me and end up measuring and then you're off by a ½ inch, and then you wasted at least a half an hour of time. But yeah, I measured everything to get it to fit on this thing. I mounted a piece of board here, mounted a piece of board underneath here to the backing of this. I got a couple screws and washers and lug nuts, and basically pre-drilled holes, and then ran the lugs through the wood. I used some MDF that I had lying around my house when I was doing my kitchen. So I just reused that, and basically then after that got mounted, as you can see. I don't know if you can't really see here, it's under the fabric, but yeah, I mounted it onto this. There's a screw here sticking out, but whatever. Could have done it more neatly by countersinking it, but I didn't want to do all of that. Just being lazy, to be honest. But it's nothing that anybody can really see. And then I just mounted these with like 2-3 inch screws onto the MDF, and I made a bracket to mount this on. The bracket is hollow in the inside, so that way all the wires can feed underneath, no problem. I don't know if you can see there. Yeah. So basically 2x1 here, 2x1 frame, 2x1 on the ends and in the middle, so that way it can mount it. As you can see, ain't going nowhere. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Got my system in here. My next thing that I want to do down here, as you can see, you have your USB, HDMI, and then your cigarette port for charging. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put because I want to keep my stock deck, but I want to put a phone to run my GPS and my music and all and that kind of stuff. I didn't get the deck with I didn't want to dish out another $3,000-$4,000 just to have GPS and what do you call the other thing? Sirius radio or whatever. So what I've realized is that I have an LG that fits perfect in there, some space, so I realized I can get a little bit of a bigger phone. So I'll probably just get a Note, take off root it, of course, take out everything off of it I don't need, and then install probably an offline GPS, and then run my music through Android's Play Store, or I should say Google Play Store. And because I find, unless all your files are what is it, A-FLAC I believe it is, which is the best quality for your music, you don't want to have to go and convert everything on your SD card, because I have an SD card in my armrest, and then a lot of it is old music, to be honest with you, that I've been downloading for years, and then to go convert everything to F-FLAG or a higher format is hours and time. I have an old Galaxy that'll fit nicely in there. It's about the size of, just a little bit smaller than the Note, but I'll probably get something like that and just put it in there, and then I'm gonna move these and this over here, and then what I'll do, because I can run the wire through this little space here, and then have the wire come down here and then connect into my phone at the side. Volume buttons, in all reality, just swipe down and I can pull and adjust my volume right there. But once I have everything set up and connected to Bluetooth, I won't really need to do anything. And then my next thing I want to eventually do, I've seen a lot of people doing, is get an actual tablet and mount it up there with a multimedia player, probably somewhere down here. I'll probably mount it where this is the multimedia player, if I do get one, but that's probably next year or the year after project. But yeah, this is my sound system for my Civic stock deck with aftermarket sub, speakers, and amps. Basically, I'm running in the front, I have MTX, what a 65 RMS speakers, and then I have MTX 75 watts, I believe, RMS in the back. My amp is 4-channel, 100 RMS watts each. My amp is about just under 700 watts RMS at 2 ohms, and then about 1,000 RMS at 1 ohm. And line out converters in SLI 4, Pioneer 4-channel. A lot of people don't really like the Planet Audio amp that I have, but I'll be honest with you, I had that bloody thing for over longer than that, 6 years. So I had it in my old Sentra, the 04 Sentra, and it hasn't given out. The only thing I notice, if I pump it or crank up the gain and the bass volume, it does overheat and go into protect, but it hasn't blown a fuse, hasn't blown anything. Works. I actually recommend the Planet Audio amp. The monoblocks, I haven't tried their 4-channel or 2-channel amps, but the the monoblock amp is really good. But yeah, that's my setup.